Your Excellency, thank you very much today for the opportunity. It's a great honor to speak with you. We know Pakistan's Karot hydropower project started its commercial operation in late June. And this is a major project on energy cooperation under the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is also a flagship item under China's Belt and Road Initiative. So how may this project benefit the local economy and people's lives?
First of all, thank you for having me on CGTN radio. It's always a pleasure to interact with the Chinese media. Karot hydropower project is an extremely important project because it was the first hydro project under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Energy Cooperation. And as you mentioned, it has been recently started its commercial operation. It was, I think, started 5-6 years ago, the construction, and now it is complete. It was quite a challenging project because of the terrain, the mountainous terrain, so I must convey my appreciation and praise to the China Three Gorges Corporation, its workers and engineers for executing this very difficult but engineering marvel, I would call it. It is important for three reasons, importantly, because it's, as I mentioned, that it will create about 720 megawatt energy, which means around 3.2 billion kilowatt of energy annually. So it will address the needs of important needs of energy in the region and benefiting about 5 to 6 million people in the region. Secondly, it's hydropower. It's clean energy. It will help in reducing of about 3.2 million reduction of carbon CO2 emissions, ton of emissions annually. So it's in that respect, it will help in the clean development of Pakistan. And then, of course, it is going to generate employment in the region. About 5,000 to 6,000 people are going to benefit from direct and indirect employment. So overall, I think it's an extremely important project. And we're really thankful to the Chinese government, to the Three Gorges Corporation for executing this important project.
We know over the years, our two countries have launched many other projects under the framework of BRI, such as the Gwadar Port, the East Bay Expressway, also the Mainland One Railway project, and so on and so forth. Under this context, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif actually said last month that Pakistan's economic future is linked to the success of the economic corridor with the Gwadar port as the main component. Then what's your take on his saying? How should we understand Prime Minister's statement on saying that Pakistan's economic future is linked to the economic corridor?
Look, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is one of the most important flagship project of BRI. There are 5 corridors under BRI major, and CPEC is one of the most important one. It's about 60 billion plus project. Half of it has already been executed. Under the first phase, we had 3 major components. It was one was energy, and Karot project was one part of that, but there are several other energy projects, major projects, thermal, hydro, wind, solar, which were executed under this project. Second component was infrastructure, physical infrastructure, highways, motorways, bridges, which were built across Pakistan, improving the communication and infrastructure and road infrastructure of Pakistan. One important part of this physical infrastructure was laying this fiber optic link from Chinese border to Islamabad, so for helping in the communication network.
Yeah.
The third important component of the first phase was the Gwadar port that you mentioned. It's a very important port. It is almost complete, it's functional. The other infrastructure, like recently inaugurated East Bay Express was inaugurated. Then we are about to finish the international airport in Gwadar, and many other allied infrastructure, industrial park, special economic zone is being set up there. Many large number of Chinese companies are setting their businesses there. So this was the first component of PSEC. Now we are entering into phase 2. Phase 2 is even more important because after setting the base of infrastructure, connectivity, roads. Now we are transitioning to a phase which is focusing on industrialization, agriculture, and IT. These all are extremely important areas for the social well-being of the people, poverty alleviation, green economy. We have also launched recently China-Pakistan economic corridor for health corridor, digital corridor, health corridor, digital corridor, green corridor. So in green corridor, we are focusing on agriculture, we are focusing on environment, we are focusing on food security. Under digital corridor, we are learning and benefiting from China's experience, expertise in the IT sector. In industry, we are developing special economic zones. We are encouraging relocation of Chinese industries to Pakistan, not only to help the domestic market, but also to the region and exporting to other countries. So if you see, this is quite a broad framework of economic development in my country and also for the region. So that's why Prime Minister when said that it is linked with the economic future of Pakistan, he was right on dot.
Then despite there are terrorism attacks, despite we know recently there is the change of the new prime minister in your country as well, cooperation between China and Pakistan continues. What's your understanding of what we always say, this all-weather Iron Brotherhood relationships between China and Pakistan?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm very glad to answer that because since I have been here, I have also tried to understood the main ethos and philosophy of China-Pakistan friendship. It's a friendship which spans over now 7 decades since we started our diplomatic journey, and we established diplomatic relations in May 1951. So last year we celebrated our 70 years.
Yep.
So it's a relationship which has been nurtured over the years by successive generation of leadership and people. It's a relationship which is timeless in my view. It is time tested also. No matter which government is in Pakistan or in China, this relationship remains constant. So no matter what are the international political landscape, despite those vicissitudes or changes, our relationship remains constant. So this is a relationship which is based on mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual support, mutual cooperation, mutual solidarity. So this is unshakable. And no matter what our detractors or adversaries, I know they envy this relationship. They are trying to sabotage our relationship also. But the people of the two countries, the government of our two countries, the institutions, the political, military, business, enterprises, they all have invested very heavily in this relationship. They believe in it, and we are now working together to pass on these sentiments, this goodwill between our two countries to our future generation.